Royal Pictures presents Legends of Nollywood. The real beauties of our time. The stars of all ages. Legends of Nollywood, a celebration of Africans' best. Legends of Nollywood, a celebration of Africans' best.
Another beautiful day. You know, because of you, we are thick. Thank you. It's Legends of Nollywood. My name is Paul of Basile. And I want to welcome you specially to this special edition. I call it special edition because along the line, we deemed it fit to bring in somebody here that had one or two issues because of a movie he shot.
Legends of Nollywood, a celebration of Africans' best.
You look takeaway, honey.
You're kidding me.
Seriously, you do.
Then I should change this.
Why?
Because I don't want those Abuja girls taking me away from you.
And I'm sure you won't let them.
Don't be too sure. Do you think you'll still get an empty seat on the flight?
Well, you will not till we get to the airport.
Well, maybe I should call my travel agent to find out.
Okay. April Fool!
What did you say?
Oh, sweetie, I got you! It's April 1st!
Legends of Nollywood, a celebration of Africans' best.
Welcome back. It is still Legends of Nollywood, Moments of Truth. Room 027. Does it ring a bell? Heavily controversial movie. The height of it was that the man who played in it and the man who did it, made it all happen, was suspended from the church. I don't know why they suspended him, but it actually happened. His name is Collins Onwohei. Fine boy, no good. Welcome, Collins.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell me, room 027.
Okay, well, looking back, I've had a couple of interviews talking about the film. It was a bit controversial at the time.
Still controversial.
Well, incidentally, Remote 27 is not out in the market, but because of the trend that the trailer generated, it got Nigerians talking, especially in the opposite direction, in the negative direction. You know, it was a whole lot of experience, a lot to learn, and I think I had spoken about Remote 27 in a lot of mediums, but. For me, I as a filmmaker, I used my creative license at that time, but looking back now, maybe I used it a bit too wrongly.
Was it a pun?
No, it wasn't. Remote 27 is a creative masterpiece. I say that with every sense of responsibility. It's a beautiful story. Okay, it's a contemporary story. What we did was to jazz it up a bit. When we were doing the script, because it's a true story, we decided to just play it as it was. And I misread the market. You know, I thought our Nollywood was grown up enough for.
Not our Nollywood.
Well,
no
okay.
society, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, because of course the platform Nollywood feeds the society when it comes to visual content. I misread it. I thought they were a bit. They could watch like they watch Hollywood films, you know. So it was a bit of a miscalculation on my part. And then again, as a Christian, I think I went a bit too far, you know. What was I preaching?
The nudity was not much. It was just a couple of scenes, but it was a step out of the line.
Clint, you were daring. It was crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to shoot. Okay, the part that Nigerians are crying about, two lovers, or two people were making out, and I just thought.
No, I don't get that. We're doing what?
No, well, it was a romance scene.
That.
It was a romance scene. Of course, you know that these films are rated as above. It's 18. It's 18.
Okay.
But it's not even close to soft porn. It's not close to it. It's just an ordinary Nigerian story. But like I said, and like I said in other occasions, it was taken a bit overboard.
Now, Collins, let's not judge what happened. Just tell us the story.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, Remote 7 happened before my eyes. You know, it was a story about two friends. Okay, they got tangled with, you know, a Facebook arrangement, and you know, I know these two people, you know, so it's authentic. You know, so the girl comes over to Lagos and all of that, and there's this part of the story that says after they've done everything, you know, they're together for a weekend. But just when they were back from all the good time and they wanted to have sex, the girl said, no. They were completely naked. The guy said, come on, you've been all over me all day. What's wrong with you? And they went, well, no. And then the guy decided to get a bit violent and wanted to rape the girl. The whole hotel went agog. The girl was shouting. Long story short, when the girl felt threatened, she confessed and said, if you make love to me, you will die. You know, and it was serious, and the girl was scared. She was hysteric. If you make love to me, you will die. And the guy asked her, if you knew this, why did you come? I mean, it took a while. When you chat with the girl on Facebook, you don't know her. You're talking to and fro, but when you discovered, or when you knew, because this has been happening to you, you knew you're going to die. Why did you come? You know sex was going to happen. So because of the content of the story, I needed to illustrate a bit. And people say, come on, you could have done it with that. Every director or every filmmaker has a license to interpret. If I don't interpret my story, then I'm not the director. I don't have the creative license anymore. So long story short, what I'm just saying is, I think we went overboard with our creative license.
See, one thing to confess what, or admit to what your faults, I still give it to you. Yes, you have the creative license. The only thing I fault in the whole thing is this. I preach against nudity.
I do too.
Yeah, and number two, even when they give us the 18 certificate, our society is a society where a family watches movies together. So it is not possible for Papa and Mama or Uncle to be watching movie and the little ones will not come in and see it. That becomes a problem because our society is not a nudist society. Let me use that. And again, we are not that kind that shows sex like that. Okay, fine. In the course of your shooting to Room 027, what were your hitches like?
Well, when you're making any good movie, finance is always a problem. Finance is always a challenge, you know. But because of our experience and the little training we've got from the platform Nollywood, you know, it was a bit easy to overcome because most of the stuff we got was on goodwill. So it wasn't about the exchange of naira and kobo. Okay, so an artist would say, okay, it's Collins Onwohei now, we've been around for a while, okay, and cut his fee down to maybe cut like 50K off his fee.
50% off his fee?
No, not 50%. I said 50,000 off his fee. Just
Whoa.
you know.
It's still high.
But that's a lot. But that's a lot because if you consider how much most of these actors are paid, or most of us are paid, it's quite on the high now. So a lot of things you get on goodwill, the locations, the cars, the props. And so, but if you put all of that together, money is still a challenge. There was a time I almost ran out of accommodation fee paying for all my artists and crew and all of that. So money is always a challenge.
So
I won't tell that on this platform. Let's not go there.
No, Collins.
Okay. Anyway,
give us a rough estimate because we have it.
Remote to Seven is actually a very, very low budget movie. It's.
They said you did 3.5 million. Let me spill it out. I did not put your marketing. I hate using this word.
It's actually a low budget movie.
Your marketing budget and all those things. I didn't put it.
I know.
But somebody told me.
Yes, well, something in that range. Since you've come to that.
I won't have to pull in Chico Ejiro to spy on you. Chico told me, "Is your brother go and meet him?"
something in that region. Yeah.
Okay, now can you reel out your cast list for us?
It was a small cast because it's a very tight story.
Yeah.
Tony Omez played the male lead.
Jesus.
What's the love? It's a small story. It's a small story.
You know what I laughed about Tony Omez?
Yeah.
Give us some insight of how you were able to manage him. Gentleman, I know, but what happened?
Tony is a complete professional. I give it to him any day. He's a complete professional. When I told my director I wanted Tony, he said, Tony does not cut. He cuts the character of the ideal family man. It's not the type that will be flirting around with a Facebook girl and all of that. As an actor, I tell people, I say, your job is make believe. You know, I'm not in the school of thought where they say, I can't play this kind of role. Yeah, there are some roles that, you know, are anti our culture, anti our tradition and all of that. But creatively, as an artist, your job as an actor is to interpret a role. So when I went to him, I said, Tony, we've been friends for a while, I want you to do this for me. Not just because of the character you're playing, but because of the money I'm paying. He said, Collins, it's okay, I'll be there. Let me see the story. And I saw the story. 2 days later, I called my director and said, tell Collins how much I do the story, but you guys have to contend with my wife.
That was the aspect I was waiting for. Yeah. Because truth be told, we are family friends, and if there's any credit I'm going to give to the wife, it's being able to hold the husband, manage the husband. She's a wonderful manager to say, honey, you're not going to do this, or you're going to do this. Honey, you're not going to go to that place, you're going to do this. She's been able to manage. I give credit to Tony's wife. Wonderful, excellent woman. I do. That was what I was waiting for. How did you get to talk to the wife? What did you say to the wife?
Well, I didn't actually get to see the wife because when we're making movies like this, the producer, Tony's my friend. I acted also I featured in the movie, but as a producer, once the contract line has been opened, I don't get. The system doesn't give you, I don't allow it, you know, to get that familiar. So but
the wife is the manager?
Yeah, well, what happened was she got talking with, I think, the production manager, and there were guarantees that, you know, most of these things are going to be censored and taken care of.
Okay.
That was in my department.
So outside you and Tony Omez, who was the girl? Okay,
there's Lisa Ono. Lisa Ono is a fast-rising actress.
That's my daughter.
Okay, Lisa is there. Can I remember? But there's this particular character I don't want us to throw away because there are 3 major characters: me, Tony Omez, and Chinelo. What's her name now? Ememchuku, I think. Chinelo. Her first name is Chinelo. I saw her. She was recommended by one producer in Nigeria. And we were looking for a girl, a pretty girl, that had some level of boldness, not wayward. not wayward.
You would have asked me.
No,
my mom would have done that. Yeah,
we're actually looking for an actress,
Okay.
a thespian, you know. The role had some power of interpretation and we needed an actress. But she had to be beautiful, she had to have the kind of sensuality that we wanted. We wanted a firm boobs, we wanted a clean skin. We wanted a nice girl from a good home, but beautiful. So we started searching and we searched and searched. And after we auditioned like 50 beautiful Nigerian ladies, and my director wasn't still satisfied. I wasn't either. We settled for one though, but she was a bit underage. I think she was just about 18.
No, you can't
You
walk.
know, and I said, my director said, no way. So when they brought this one, she looked nice. And I said, this is, that. I said, that's it. And my director, I said, that's it. My director said, you. By the way, Damager Ifeyong was the director of the flick. You know, creative young man. You know, so I said, that's it. And she's just a complete professional. She's just a complete professional. You know, and she's done a couple of jobs before that time, and now she's hot.
I love the name you called now, Damijo. I know Damijo to be a wonderful writer, and I know
He wrote this. He
wrote this story.
No, it's my story.
It's your story, but
Yeah, he
screenplay
did
by
the
him.
screenplay.
Yeah, I know he's a well-cultured human being and down to earth with what he wants. If he wants something, he does it to the letter. What was his take in the whole controversy?
Well, I don't like. I wouldn't like to speak for the director. You know, we said some things to ourselves. So he's responded to a few of the questions, and he has a stand concerning Remoto 7. So it will be professionally wrong and ethical for me to make statements that he has made on his behalf. But I think Damager holds strongly to the view that the director has creative license to interpret his story the way he wants to interpret it, and I completely agree with him. Where I stand is from the point of view of my background, first as a believer, and second as a creative person, as a filmmaker, and third as an actor.
Okay. Now, in the course of your shoot, what really transpired? Who fell in love with who?
No. You see, of course.
Because we had this story.
Okay, wait.
Colleagues, we had this story that somebody fell in love with somebody. So who fell in love with who?
I tell you the truth. I'll be honest on this program. Now you want to know, right? I tell you the truth. Everybody fell in love with a girl. That's the truth.
Colleagues, somebody said somebody dated somebody.
No. I don't know about dating. I'm the producer. I don't know about dating, but everybody fell in love with a girl. Because she could switch between the roles. Okay. And one time she's the actress, the other time she's the Nigerian woman, the culture woman, the woman that has value, the woman that the Bible refers to as virtuous. So you begin to wonder, and it dawns on you suddenly that this is actually a job. Acting and make believe. In that set, on that set, you have more than 18 people, the director, the cameraman, the sound man.
I know.
How are you going to have a hard-on? When you, as a creative actor, you are waiting to up your game and increase your fan base and increase your commercial commercial value, you concentrate on your lines and try to make, try to appeal to the conscience of those that don't like your acting. Say, okay, you don't improve small and all of that. How can you have a hard-on?
Okay, you had him brutally frank, like you went. How can you have a hard-on? You know why I ask these questions? Because I've had people talk to me about we having sex on set. Is a big lie. It is not possible for you in the presence of a minimum of 12, 15 people in that same place you are to have such thoughts in your mind, because the makeup artist is there, the costumier is there, the prompter is there, the lines person is there. They are telling you to get into character. The director is angry, the light man is moving, the boom is moving, People are just there. So how could you? So let me use this to rest the talk that we have concerning us that we have sex on set. No, it is not possible. I tell you, and that's my standpoint, and that is to the best of my knowledge. Hello, honey. No, something just came up.
Good morning, sir.
Yes?
Could you please come with me, sir?
For what?
There's something I want you to see.
Legends of Nollywood. A celebration of Africans' best.
What happens outside a set is not my business. But what happens on the set is Legends of Nollywood business. Now, Collins, why have you not released?
Okay, truth be told, I didn't spend over 2 decades. I haven't spent over 2 decades as a filmmaker, as an actor and a filmmaker for nothing. Now, if you've done a job that raised some dust, you have to choose where you stand. How do you want to be seen? Do you want to be seen as a role model? Do you want to be seen as one of the bad guys? No, I have 4 kids. I'm a family man. I'm a church boy. I love Jesus. So I want to be seen as a role model. I want to leave legacies that people will look back at and remember. So that's what Collins did. So when the controversy and the heat came up, I sat back and I said, wait a minute. Okay, so you have a creative license as a filmmaker. So what are you preaching? Okay, it's not much. The sins are small. So what are you teaching people? Are you pointing them to hell or pointing them to Jesus? I sat back. All of this was going on after the suspension, so it was good.
So you actually suspended in church?
Well, we'll come to that. It was not. I wasn't suspended in church.
Your department?
I was suspended from my protocol duties, and for very good reasons too, because everybody will not understand. Bible says, do not cause. If this thing will cause this man to sin, just yank it off for a while, just so that you don't touch his faith. I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing, okay? So I guess the department said, okay, they see you with our respected apostle all the time.
Apostle who?
Apostle Anselm Madubuko.
Okay.
The great custodian of our time, of the Bible, custodian of the word, apostle of our time. They see you with him all the time because you belong to the protocol team. You are one of his armor bearers. What are you telling the world? Yes, the man might not say anything, but the department was set up as a department. They have their own powers. They don't even have to confer. So they took the decision. I personally did not even want to say, Papa, see you come on. No. That's a misnomer. As a HOD, I will serve the suspension. Why? Because it's going to teach me something at the end of the day. And did it teach me? Yes. I sat back and I said, instead of doing Room 227, where you expose nudity, do Preachers from Hell. That's my next movie, by the way.
Strong title.
Where you expose men of God that have decided to compromise and use the word.
Wait, don't tell us the story. Don't tell us the story. Please.
Legends of Nollywood. A celebration of Africans' best.
Stopped. For my fans, thank you. No matter how popular you are, this little or this high, we owe it to you. To the group that sees Collins Onwohei on TV and says, I don't like that actor. I understand. There are a whole lot of fans like that. They have people they like and those they don't like so much for different reasons. My appeal is, whatever reason for your dislike, if it's artistic, I'm doing my best to try and better my game. If it's not artistic, it's okay. You have a right to your opinion. I can sway you. But if it's artistic, I'll do my best because I'm learning. My best days ahead of me. For Nigeria, thank God, Paul, this is the best time to be alive. You know why? I see a good Nigeria. I see a new Nigeria. I see a great again Nigeria. I'm not one of those people who go on social media to talk about my president. Whoever is there, God put him there. And it's my responsibility first as a Christian and as a Nigerian to pray for him, to stand with him, to support him. I'm a detribalized Nigerian. Nigeria is one. And I have a passion for the oneness and continuing coexistence of this entity called Nigeria.
I like this talk. Respect the people in authority. Pray for the people in leadership. That has always been the focal point and the driving stance of allegiance of Nollywood. You cannot get into a position of authority if God has not given it to you.
That's right.
But the truth still remains that for the authority to be authoritative, the onus is on the citizens to pray.
That's right.
Because the devil will make a mess of them. The devil will keep telling God that your best is not good enough. God decides who rules and who sits there, not man. That man you want to kill, the girl you want to destroy, the boy you just framed up. Please, let them go. Freedom. Stay blessed. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Legends of Nollywood.
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 Watch Legends of Nollywood and celebrate the pioneers of this great industry that has brought so much joy and so much happiness to the lives of many millions of people in Nigeria.
Legends of Nollywood, a celebration of Africans' best.